Hello and welcome back to another video on the Ultra Films YouTube channel. My name is Evan, I'm the producer over here on this show, and today we're talking about the latest episode of Young Justice, episode 19, Encounter Upon the Razor's Edge. Now, I went into this knowing the story was about the Green Lantern Corps, and then reading the title and going, what is this all about? To seeing Razer as a Blue Lantern and went, oh my goodness. So obviously this show opens up with this scene up here with Tomare and Kilowog going to this council meeting that they're having on New Genesis with High Father, High Mother, and Rocket, Jay Garrick, and Forager. And so they're going to join this peace summit that's supposed to develop these treaties between the surrounding groups to protect Earth from metahuman trafficking. Now, as they're going to this summit, they stumble upon Blue Lantern Razer. And now, you're seeing this image down here, which is a little bit spoilers for the end of the show, but Razer is just a Blue Lantern at this point. He's been out with the hope that he can find Aya, who, if you've watched the Green Lantern show, you know who this is in that whole storyline and why she's missing, because of the anti-monitor and what went down. And so he's out trying to find her, and I thought this was really cool to just, like, tee him up in this show kind of out of nowhere, because this is obviously his first appearance. We've seen plenty of other first appearances in this show this season. I think Tomare and Kilowog, this is both their first appearance. Same with Lord Zod. And this is actually a lot of these characters, like not actually, like Lord Zod, that's his first appearance in any television show or movie. Some of the other characters in this season, they're getting their first appearance, Forager, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I guess these guys on the top and bottom have already had those incarnations shown before. However, then we get a little bit more background as to why Lord Zod is creeping around all of New Genesis. Why he's creeping around Supertown is because the last Phantom Zone projector is in that time in the High Father's vault. And we're getting this explanation from him and the Legion of Superheroes, which is the group that we've been following. Phantom Girl is stuck with Connor Kent in the Phantom Zone, but the other two members of the Legion of Superheroes who've been following around Connor Kent, they're explaining to Bart the same exact story that he's explaining about their imprisonment in the Phantom Zone. It's all revealed as to why he's chasing after this Phantom Zone projector. It's so that he can free General Zod, his father, and his mother, and set them free. He has this time sphere that he has stolen. He's been working with Darkseid because he's promised to help kill the Superboy, and then ultimately probably Superman, his greatest threat to taking Earth. And so he has some pretty good motivation to hating the L family. And the Legion of Superheroes is only a thing because it was inspired by Connor Kent and this, obviously, Superboy. So it wouldn't exist, and that's why they're stuck in time, and they thought that sending Superman to this certain place in time to be that inspiration for the Legion of Superheroes would have had that effect to create it, but there's obviously things still afflicting the timeline to alter it and change it, being mostly Lord Zod. So they can't count on it. So what else do we get in this episode? Obviously they stumble upon Razer, and Razer's been struggling with his hope. He's losing hope on finding Aya, which it's not said directly, but he just says that he's losing hope on his mission, which, if you know the Green Lantern show, you know what his mission is. And so Metron actually has his red ring, he took his red ring when he was gifted a blue one, or the blue one chose him, and Metron took the red ring from him to keep it in a safe place so that nobody else would have to go through and experience the rage or the effects of what the red ring turns you into. He didn't want anybody else to go through that, so he let Metron store away in his time vault. Metron is using that opportunity to study it, and then allows him to keep the blue ring and promises him that he'll give him back his red ring if he ever so chooses. The rest of that storyline plays out with Metron manipulating the crap out of him, telling him that, yeah, he lost all hope, he knew it would happen, just to insult him, just to be rude, because Metron's kind of a dickhead, and so Razer obviously gets pissed with his red ring, goes after him, tries to take him out. Metron's trying to dip out on him after stealing the blue, not stealing, but taking the blue lantern ring to study, and Razer willpowers the blue ring back to him and dual wields them, which is why he looks like that. Pretty badass. And then he flies off to go save and look for Aya. However, yeah, that's basically the gist of that story. And I think it's dope that he's in this universe now, because he's freaking powerful. He's a beast. He pops off. He also mentions to Kilowog and Tomare to say hi to Hal for him, which means that that's technically canon in Young Justice. Everything that happens in the Green Lantern show is now sort of canon. It's not actually, but like, you can only assume, since that's the only iteration we've seen of Razer. He knows Hal, and this is just like a predetermined relationship. They usually don't tee those things up like that, unless it's like big time leaguers meeting other big time leaguers, where they like mention a little callback to something. All the leaguers know each other. Razer and like the outer space people, they don't really like say, "Oh yeah, we know you." They don't tee that up like that. There's also not many of those connections that you can tee up in that way, where there's a predetermined relationship that is supposed to be there and known with characters from the Green Lantern Corps. Obviously within the Green Lantern Corps, but like somebody like Razer, who's a Red Lantern, I hope you get what I'm saying. Basically, they backed themselves into a corner and made that canon in... Yeah. So anyways, Kilowog also makes a little joke, actually. One other thing I want to note about Razor's situation, he makes a joke that pretty soon you'll have rainbow powers, as in like pretty soon Razer will collect all of the different lantern rings, and that'd be sick. Let's see what else is going on here. That's like actually like weirdly like the main storyline. You learn from Warzod there's like Kryptonians and Daxamites that both left the Phantom Zone. So Daxamites are like another alien species that are like super overpowered, that gain their powers underneath the yellow sun. Ultimately, General Zod like tried to like, after getting released from the Phantom Zone by the High Father, because they had the last Phantom Projector, they got released from there and set free. And because of General Zod's actions to like rebel against whatever, they ended up sending him back to the Phantom Zone, which is why Lord Zod is like trying to get this last projector, because he was like under the age of 18, not legally an adult, and so they couldn't send him there. Those are like the main storylines. You don't see much about like the actual like peace summit outside of like a brief little interaction between Tomare, High Father, and Orion and Rocket negotiating the help that's needed with metahuman trafficking, and the High Father saying, yeah, we actually can't do anything because we have a peace treaty with Apocalypse and we don't want to break that because we're scared. And Rocket's like, "Are you kidding me? You're gonna let that happen? You're afraid of that?" And Ryan's just like, "Yeah, dude, you should be too. You should be scared as well." But yeah, there's not really much that actually goes on with the peace treaty negotiations. It'll be interesting to see with like what Lor-Zod, Mantis, and Ma'alefa'ak do to mess up the, you know, peace treaty talks, if at all, or like what they're gonna do to set things off. Will how that'll affect the negotiations and whether or not that treaty is broken and we see like an all-out war with Darkseid or something like that. That'd be insane. I don't know if that'll happen. That's like worst case scenario, but hey, you never know. The reason that like Lor-Zod is also doing this behind the scenes is because he can't do it like he knows that like, hey, it's there, Darkseid, I need your help to get there. So he like gives him a couple pawns to like try and get there, but he's not like, Darkseid is not going to risk any of the peace treaty stuff as well. So that's why they're going in the time sphere cloaked and nobody can interact with them. Oh, one other thing I guess that is sort of important is that because he hasn't like blended in with the time stream, like he's like camouflaged themselves, the Legion of Superheroes hasn't been able to track him because he's kept his like time sphere offline sort of thing. So that's why he's been so successful in his plans. Darkseid also gave him a Kaiser Thrall, which I believe is just like a big old bomb. I don't know exactly what that does. But obviously this whole story is playing out. They're learning about what happened with the Phantom Zone, General Zod, and Lor-Zod, and all that interaction. And Bart's learning all this from them. And then ultimately builds the Legion of Superheroes a cosmic treadmill, which is dope, inside a bioship. So like they were collecting supplies to like build a time device, and then Bart basically builds them a cosmic treadmill to use. And I think they'll, because they're inside a bioship, that they'll be able to use bioship as a time machine. I think that's what they're trying to get at. I don't know for sure, but that's what it ultimately seems like. And then, yeah, that's the whole episode. The little like post-credit scene that they do while the credits are rolling is they're singing "Happy Birthday" to Jay Garrick, who's turning 102 years old. Freaking old man. That's freaking old. That's older than my great-grandpa. My great-grandpa. Jay Garrick's just built different. But anyways, that's all I have for this episode. Kind of a filler episode to just like explain the backstory of what the heck is all going on. It's New Genesis and like time travel, Phantom Zone stuff. So there's going to be a lot of that possibly in the next episode as well. So be prepared. But it's pretty good stuff story-wise. And the Razer development, dope. So 10 out of 10 on this one. Probably 9 out of 10. But very good episode again. So that's my breakdown for this one. I will see you guys next week for the episode 20 that they drop. And until then, take care of yourself. Peace.